Help me reach 5,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I'm at the kitchen table in our suburban Denver home, the one we've been in since we got married 12 years ago. The table's a mess, scratched wood, coffee rings from too many nights of me sitting here, trying to keep the peace. We got it cheap at a big box store when we were young and optimistic. Now it's just a battleground. My coffee's cold, and the house is quiet except for the fridge humming like it's mocking me. Emily's across from me, glued to her phone, her nails tapping the screen like she's typing a manifesto. I'm trying to talk about my week. Work's been a grinder, 60-hour shifts managing a strip mall project, dealing with a new project manager who thinks screaming is strategy. I'm wiped out. I say it straight. I'm tired, Em. She doesn't look up. You're tired? That's what you're for, to grind it out. Don't complain. Her voice is sharp, like she's scolding a kid who broke a toy. I lean back, staring at her. Emily's got that look, lips tight, eyes half-lidded, like she's already decided on the problem. The air in the room feels thicker, like someone cranked the heat too high. For what I'm for. I keep my voice flat, but it's got a bite. And what exactly are you for? Her phone freezes mid-scroll. Her mouth opens, then snaps shut. No answer. For once, she's got nothing. I let the silence hang, heavy, like a storm cloud ready to break. You're unbelievable, she finally says, her voice low, trying to flip it back on me. I'm trying to keep things together, and you're picking a fight over nothing. Nothing. I set my mug down, hard enough to make a point, but not break anything. You just told me I'm a pack mule who's not allowed to feel it. That's not nothing, Em. That's you rewriting the deal. She rolls her eyes, going back to her phone. You're so dramatic. Just go to work, Jack. I'm about to fire back when the doorbell rings. It's our neighbor, Linda, dropping off a package that got delivered to her place by mistake. She's in scrubs, fresh off a shift at the hospital, her hair pulled back tight. Hey, Jack, Emily, she says, stepping inside. Everything okay? You guys look tense. Emily plasters on a smile, but it's brittle. Oh, we're fine. Just Jack being Jack. I don't let it slide. Nah, Linda, I say, taking the package. Emily's just reminding me I'm here to work, not talk. Right, Em? Linda's eyebrows shoot up, and she glances at Emily, who's glaring at me like I've betrayed her. Okay, Linda says, backing toward the door. I'll let you two sort that out. She leaves, and Emily's on me the second the door closes. You just had to say that in front of her, didn't you? You started it. I say, tossing the package on the counter. You want to play boss, do it somewhere else. I'm not your employee. She opens her mouth, but I'm already moving. I grab my keys and head to the garage. I've got a site visit, I say over my shoulder. Figure out what you bring to this, because I'm done guessing. If I'd known then how far this was going to go, I'd have started packing that day. Saved myself months of her crap. I'm Jack Harper, 42, project engineer for a construction firm that builds strip malls and office parks across Colorado. I'm not a saint, but I'm steady. Pay the bills, mow the lawn, show up on time. Emily used to be my partner, splitting beers on the porch, laughing at my dumb jokes, planning weekends in the mountains. Now she's a general issuing orders, and I'm supposed to salute and shut up. That morning cut deeper than I expected. I didn't yell, I don't do that. But I made a decision, no more free passes. She wants to play dictator, she's gonna find out I don't take orders. The drive to the site gives me time to think. Her words keep looping. That's what you're for. Like I'm a machine, not a man. I've been carrying more than my weight for years. Mortgage, her SUV, her yoga classes, that Etsy shop she calls a business, but barely breaks even. And she tells me not to complain? I'm not chasing her approval. Never have. Respects the line, and she just crossed it. At the site. My buddy Mike, a foreman with a beard like he's ready to chop wood for winter, spots me right away. You look like hell, Jack, he says, tossing me a hard hat. Home's a war zone, I say, catching it. Emily's decided I'm her personal mule. He spits tobacco into the dirt, grinning. She's still pulling that queen bee crap? Worse, I say. She's rewriting my job description. He laughs, but it's got an edge. Man, I've been there. My ex pulled that for years. You gotta shut it down, or it'll eat you alive. Working on it, I say, pulling on the hat. She's about to learn I don't roll over. Mike nods, like he's been waiting for me to say it. Good. You're too solid to let her walk all over you. That night, I don't bring it up with Emily. She's in the living room, watching some reality show about rich women throwing wine at each other. I don't join her. I head to the spare room, my desk, my pull-out couch, my space. I pull up our joint account on my laptop. Her spending's been climbing. New clothes, spa days, business expenses for her Etsy shop. That's more hobby than hustle. I'm not petty. I don't care about the dollars. I care about the pattern. She's living like a queen while telling me to suck it up. I transfer $5,000 from our joint savings to my personal account. Not to hide it, just to draw a line. My money, my rules. If she wants to run her own empire, she can fund it herself. Then I pull up our shared calendar and delete her mandatory dinner with her friends next week. I'm not asking permission. I'm done with her schedule. It's a Saturday, and we're at the Thompsons barbecue down the street. Tom's a retired cop with a gut and a laugh that carries across the yard. Linda's a nurse who gets loud after a glass of wine. Their backyard's packed. Folding chairs, kids running wild, classic rock blaring from a Bluetooth speaker. Emily's in her element, holding court with Linda and a couple other wives, a sangria in her hand like it's a prop. I'm by the grill with Tom, flipping burgers, keeping it chill. Emily calls me over, her voice all sugar but with a sting. Jack, honey, can you grab me another drink? I look at her. She's got that smile, the one she uses when she wants to look like the perfect wife. But I know the game. The cooler's 10 feet away. She could get it herself. This is about control, about making me jump when she snaps her fingers. Nah, I say, loud enough for Linda and a few others to hear. Cooler's right there. You've got legs. Her smile twitches, but she recovers fast, laughing like I'm joking. Oh, come on, Jack. Be a gentleman. I am, I say, turning back to the grill. Just not your errand boy. Linda snorts into her wine glass, nearly choking. Oh, damn, Jack, she says, grinning. You're not wrong. Emily's face goes tight, but she plays it off, grabbing her own drink. Tom glances at me, his eyebrow raised. Bold move, Harper, he says quietly, flipping a burger. She's gonna make you pay for that. Let her try, I say, keeping my eyes on the grill. I'm done paying her bills. The rest of the night, Emily's all charm with everyone else, but with me? Ice. She barely looks at me, chatting up Linda like nothing happened. Later, as we're leaving, Tom pulls me aside. Watch your back, Jack, he says, half joking. She's not used to losing. She'd better get used to it, I say, and he laughs. On the drive home, she's silent, staring out the window like I'm invisible. I let it sit until we're in the kitchen, where she starts slamming cabinet doors. What the hell was that, Jack? She says, not looking at me. You had to embarrass me in front of everyone. Embarrass you? I lean against the counter, arms crossed. You wanted a show? I didn't play along. That's on you. You're my husband, she snaps, spinning to face me. You're supposed to have my back. And you're supposed to have mine, I shoot back. But all I get is orders and attitude. I'm done with it. She rolls her eyes, like I'm blowing it out of proportion. It was a drink, Jack. A drink. No, I say, stepping closer. It's you thinking you can snap your fingers and I'll heel like a dog. I'm not your servant, Em. Figure out what you bring to this, because I'm done carrying it all. You're overreacting, she says, her voice dripping with disdain. You always do this, turn nothing into a fight. Nothing. I laugh, no humor in it. You've been treating me like hired help for months. I'm not playing your game anymore. She steps toward me, her voice softening, trying the charm angle. Jack, come on. We're a team. Can't we just talk about this? We're talking now. I say, not budging. And I'm telling you, I'm done with your orders. You want a team? Act like it. She stares at me, her jaw tight. Before she can respond, I grab my keys. I'll be at Mike's, I say, heading for the door. You want to talk like adults, you know where to find me. I crash at Mike's that night, on his lumpy couch with a beer in hand and a Rockies game on the TV. He doesn't pry, just hands me the beer and says, women, man, they'll drive you nuts. She's not driving me anywhere, I say, cracking the can. I'm done following her map. He chuckles, shaking his head. You're a stubborn bastard, Jack. I respect it, but you sure about this? My ex pulled the same crap, and I waited too long to call it. I'm not waiting, I say, staring at the TV. She's gonna learn I don't bend. Next morning, I'm back home before Emily's up. I don't mention last night. Instead, I pull up our shared calendar on my phone. Her mandatory dinners with her friends? Gone. I block off 2 weekends for myself, a camping trip with Mike and a solo hike in the Rockies. No discussion, no permission. My time, my call. When Emily sees the calendar later, she's livid. What is this? She demands, waving her phone at me. You just canceled everything? Not everything. I say, sipping my coffee. Just the stuff I'm done with. You can't just decide that, she says, her voice rising. We're married. We make decisions together. Funny, I say, setting my mug down. I don't remember you asking me before you decided I'm just here to grind and shut up. She stares at me, her face red. You're being impossible. No, I say, standing up. I'm being clear. You want to run the show? Run it without me. I grab my jacket and head to work. Point made. That afternoon, Linda calls Emily while I'm in the kitchen. I overhear her on speaker. Did you know Jack canceled your dinner with Sarah and Jen? He's got some hiking trip planned instead. Emily's face goes pale, and she hangs up without a word. I don't say anything, but I know Linda just lit a fuse. Good. Let Emily feel the ground shift. A month later, Emily's upped her game. She's not yelling. She's too smart for that. It's death by 1,000 cuts. She forgets to tell me her parents are coming over, leaving me to scramble for groceries after a 12-hour shift. She makes plans for us without asking, then acts like I'm the jerk for not being thrilled. It's all calculated to make me feel like I'm failing her, like I'm not enough. I'm not playing along. I've stopped asking her to communicate. Stopped trying to fix things with talks. She wants control? Fine. She can have it, without me in the picture. The real kicker comes at a work dinner at a steakhouse downtown. My company's hosting clients, a chance to schmooze and show off the team. I've been busting my ass on a new retail complex, pulling all-nighters to keep it ahead of schedule. My boss, Karen, a no-nonsense woman who's been in construction since Reagan was president, pulls me aside before the dinner. Jack, you're killing it, she says, her voice gruff but warm. The clients love you. Keep this up, you're looking at a promotion. I'm feeling good, maybe for the first time in weeks. Emily's there, dressed to the nines, charming the room like she's running for office. I'm proud of her. She's good at this. But then we're at the table, and Greg, a big-shot developer, asks me about the project timeline. Before I can answer, Emily cuts in, laughing. Oh, Jack's always working. I barely see him. He's married to his job, not me. The table chuckles, but it's not funny. Greg looks at me, waiting for my response. Karen's fork pauses midair, her eyes narrowing slightly. I keep my face neutral, but inside, I'm done. She's not just undermining me. She's doing it in front of my boss, my team, and the people who sign my checks. I lean back, smiling faintly. Funny thing, Greg, I say, loud enough for the table to hear. I'm home every night by 7. If Emily's not seeing me, maybe she's the one who's checked out. The table goes quiet. Karen smirks, leaning forward. Sounds like Jack's got his priorities straight, she says, her tone dry. Some people could learn from that. Greg laughs, but it's awkward. Well, damn, Jack, he says, trying to lighten the mood. Sounds like you need a vacation. Maybe, I say, keeping my eyes on Emily. Or maybe just a clearer schedule. Emily's face is stone. She doesn't say another word for the rest of the dinner. Karen leans over later, while Emily's chatting with a client's wife. You handled that like a pro, she says quietly. Don't let anyone drag you down, Jack. You're too good for that. Thanks, I say, nodding. I'm working on it. The next day at work, Karen stops by my desk. You okay after last night? She asks, arms crossed. That was a bold move, calling her out like that. Had to be done, I say, leaning back in my chair. I'm not here to play games. Good, she says, nodding. You've got too much going for you to let anyone undermine that. Keep your head up. On the drive home from the dinner, Emily's seething. You made me look like an idiot, she hisses, staring out the window. No, I say, eyes on the road. You did that yourself. I'm done being your punching bag. You're overreacting, she says, her voice sharp. It was a joke. Not to me, I say, and not to anyone else at that table. You want to play games? Play them somewhere else. You're so sensitive, she says, rolling her eyes. You can't handle a little teasing. Teasing? I laugh, gripping the wheel. You threw me under the bus in front of my boss. That's not teasing. That's disrespect. And I'm done with it. She switches tactics, her voice softening. Jack, come on. I didn't mean it like that. Can we just talk? We're talking now, I say, pulling into the driveway. And I'm telling you, you don't get to undermine me and call it a joke. Not anymore. When we get inside, I don't follow her to the bedroom. I grab a duffel bag from the garage and pack a week's worth of clothes. I'm not storming out. I'm making a choice. I call Mike, tell him I need his couch. He doesn't ask questions, just says, doors open. Before I leave, I write a note and leave it on the counter. I'm at Mike's. You want to talk respect? I'm listening. Until then, I'm done with your games. I don't look back. The next day, Greg texts me. Hell of a dinner, Jack. You're a class act. It's small, but it matters. The world's starting to see what I've been dealing with. I'm at Mike's for a week, clearing my head. Emily texts once, a half-hearted, we need to talk, but I don't respond. I'm not chasing her, and I'm not begging for a conversation. She knows where I am. Meanwhile, I'm making moves. I meet with a realtor, looking at apartments downtown. I'm not ready to sign, but I want options. I also call my bank and freeze our joint credit card. Not to screw her over, just to make sure she's not running up bills while I'm figuring this out. When I come back to the house, Emily's waiting, sitting on the couch, legs crossed, looking like she's rehearsed this. Linda's there too, sipping coffee, her eyes darting between us. Apparently, she stopped by to check in. I don't buy it. She's here for the drama. Jack, Emily says, her voice calm but sharp. This is ridiculous. You're acting like a child. I set my bag down, keeping my cool. Ridiculous is you thinking you can talk to me like I'm your employee. You want to keep this up? Fine. But I'm not sticking around for it. Linda shifts uncomfortably, but Emily ignores her. You're really going to throw away 12 years over a few comments? Not a few comments, I say, holding her gaze. A system. You've been rewriting the rules for years, and I'm done signing off on them. Linda clears her throat. Guys, maybe you should. Stay out of it, Linda. Emily snaps, cutting her off. Then she turns back to me, her voice softening, trying the charm angle. Jack, come on. We're a team. Can't we just work this out? We're not a team, I say, stepping closer. Teams respect each other. You've been treating me like hired help. That's not a marriage. That's a dictatorship. You're impossible, Emily says, standing up, her face flushed. You twist everything. No, I say, cutting her off. I'm clear. You want control? Have it. But you don't get me with it. Linda's eyes widen, but she doesn't say anything. I grab my laptop and start moving my clothes to the spare room, right in front of them. Emily watches, her jaw tight. What are you doing? She asks. Setting up my space. I say, folding a shirt. I'm done sharing a room with someone who doesn't respect me. Linda finally speaks up. Jack, that's a big move. Are you sure? Dead sure. I say, not looking at her. I'm done playing games. Emily storms off to the bedroom, slamming the door. Linda lingers, looking awkward. She's just stressed, Jack, she says quietly. She doesn't mean half of it. Then she should stop saying it. I say, closing my laptop. Thanks for the package the other day, Linda. I'll see you around. She leaves, and I email the realtor to set up a viewing for a one-bedroom downtown. I'm not moving yet, but I'm ready. The next day, I'm at work when Emily calls. I let it go to voicemail. Her message is all sugar, like she's trying to rewind the clock. Jack, please. We need to talk. I miss you. I save the message, not because I'm moved, but because it's proof of her playbook. I'm done falling for it. That night, I meet Tom for a beer at a dive bar near the site. He's heard bits from Mike and cuts to the chase. So, what's the deal with you and Emily? He asks, leaning back in the booth. She thinks she's the boss of me. I say, taking a swig. I'm proving her wrong. He whistles. That's bold, man. Most guys would just take it. Most guys aren't me. I say, and he laughs. Fair enough, he says. But you sure about this? Walking out's a big step. You guys got history. History doesn't mean I let her walk all over me. I say. She respects me, or she doesn't get me. Simple. Tom nods, but he's not done. Look, I saw her at the barbecue. She's always been a bit controlling. But you walking away? That's gonna hit her hard. You ready for that? I'm ready, I say, finishing my beer. She's the one who's not. It's been 2 weeks since I moved to Mike's. Emily's been texting, flipping between sweet and snarky, but I haven't responded. I'm not ghosting her. I'm just not engaging until she's ready to talk like an adult. Meanwhile, I've been busy. I found a loft downtown, a small place with a view of the mountains. I signed the lease without telling her. She'll find out when it's time. The breaking point comes at a dinner with her parents at an Italian place downtown. They're in town for the weekend, and Emily insists I show up to keep up appearances. I agree, but not for her. I like her folks. Bill, her dad, is a retired mechanic who loves talking cars, and Susan, her mom, is a quiet type who just wants peace. At the restaurant, Emily's in full performance mode, playing the perfect wife, laughing at my stories, touching my arm like we're in love. Her parents buy it, but I'm not fooled. Halfway through the meal, Bill asks about our holiday plans. Before I can answer, Emily jumps in. "Oh, Jack's probably working," she says, her smile sharp. "You know how he is. Always putting the job first." Susan looks down at her plate, uncomfortable. Bill frowns, but doesn't laugh this time. I set my fork down, looking straight at Emily. "Funny you say that." I say, my voice calm but firm. "Last I checked, you're the one booking our calendar without asking. Maybe that's why I'm always working." Her smile freezes. Susan coughs, and Bill leans forward. "Everything okay with you too?" he asks, his voice gruff. "Peachy," I say, leaning back. "Just sorting out some priorities." Emily's grip on her wine glass tightens, but she doesn't respond. Susan glances at me, her eyes soft but sharp. "Jack, you've always been good to her," she says quietly. "Maybe you both need to talk." "We've talked," I say, keeping my tone even. "I'm just waiting for her to listen." Bill sets his napkin down, looking at Emily. "What's this about, Em? You two fighting?" "It's nothing, Dad," Emily says, her voice tight. "Jack's just sensitive." "Sensitive?" I laugh, setting my napkin down. "I'm just done letting you rewrite the rules, Em. That's all." Bill leans back, his eyes moving between us. "Hold on," he says, pointing at Emily. "You've always been a bit bossy. You know that, right?" Emily's face flushes. "Dad, come on." "No, I'm serious," Bill says, cutting her off. "You've been like that since you were a kid. Always had to be in charge. Jack's a good man. Maybe you're pushing him too hard." "Bill," Susan says softly, touching his arm, but he shakes his head. "I'm just saying," he continues, looking at me. "Jack, you've put up with a lot. More than most would. If you're drawing a line, I get it." Emily's eyes widen, like she's been slapped. "Dad, you're taking his side." "I'm not taking sides," Bill says, his voice firm. "I'm saying you need to look at yourself. Marriage ain't a one-way street." I nod, appreciating the backup. "Thanks, Bill. I'm just trying to keep it fair." Emily's silent, her face pale. Susan tries to smooth things over. "Let's not ruin dinner," she says, but her voice is shaky. "You two are strong. You'll figure it out." "Maybe," I say, but I'm done pretending. The rest of the dinner is tense, and I don't care. When we get home, Emily lets loose. "You're trying to ruin me," she says, pacing the living room. "You humiliated me in front of my parents." "No," I say, grabbing a glass of water. "You're doing that yourself. I'm just not covering for you anymore." "You're so full of yourself," she snaps. "You think you're perfect? You're the one who's checked out." I set the glass down, turning to face her. "Checked out? I've been carrying this marriage for years. Paying the bills, showing up, dealing with your crap. You've been checked out since the day you decided I'm your errand boy." She switches tactics, her voice softening, eyes glistening. "Jack, please. I don't want to lose you. Can we just try again?" "Try again," I say, stepping closer. "I tried for years. You didn't. You wanted control, not a marriage." Her tears come harder, but I'm not moved. I've seen this play before. I walk to the bedroom, grab the lease agreement from my bag, and drop it on the coffee table. "I'm moving out next week," I say. "Keep the house. I'm keeping my life." "You're leaving me?" Her voice cracks, but it's panic, not sadness. She's losing control. "No hard feelings," I say, grabbing my jacket. "Just new rules. Mine." I start packing my books and tools in front of her, each item a statement. She watches, her face pale. I walk out, the door clicking shut behind me. 3 months later, I'm settled in the loft. It's small, but it's mine. I've got a routine, work, gym, beers with Mike and Tom. I'm not happy, not sad. I'm free. Emily's called a few times, left voicemails about working things out. I haven't called back. She's not ready to respect me, and I'm not waiting. Work's going strong. Karen gave me that promotion, more money, and responsibility. I'm good with it. Mike and I are planning a fishing trip next month, and I'm looking forward to it. First time in years I'm living for myself. Last week, I ran into Linda at the coffee shop downtown. She was with Emily, who was laughing too loud with some guy. Emily saw me, and her face froze. Linda gave me a small nod, like she understood. I nodded back and kept walking. No hard feelings, no regrets. Just a guy who knows his worth.